Hello, and welcome back to our YouTube series on RL Flow. I'm excited to continue our journey into understanding the interconnectedness of the universe. In our previous episode, we introduced you to the fascinating concept of RL Flow. This theory seeks to explain the interconnectedness and flow of information in the universe by incorporating ideas from various fields, such as physics, psychology, reinforcement learning, and philosophy. We discussed how the concept of RL flow proposes that everything in the universe is interconnected, influencing one another, and constantly changing. This interconnected flow of information is not linear, but moves in complex and dynamic patterns, much like a river. As a quick recap, we touched upon how RL flow could potentially shed light on phenomena like gravity, dark matter, and the accelerating expansion of the universe, and even how emotional entanglement could be represented mathematically. Now that we have a basic understanding of what RL flow is and how it aims to explain the interconnectedness of the universe, it's time to delve deeper into the different forms of information and how they interact within the RL flow. Stay tuned as we explore physical matter, energy, thoughts, emotions, and consciousness, and how they all play a role in the grand tapestry of the universe. Let's get started. In today's episode, titled Understanding the Forms of Information in RL Flow, we're going to take a closer look at the various forms of information that make up our universe. We will delve into the different types of information, such as physical matter, energy, thoughts, emotions, and consciousness, and discuss their unique properties and significance within the context of RL Flow. As we explore these forms of information, we'll also examine how they interact with one another within the RL flow, creating intricate patterns and connections that shape our reality. By the end of this episode, you'll have a deeper understanding of how these different forms of information are interconnected through the RL flow, and how this powerful concept can help us make sense of the complex universe we inhabit. So, without further ado, let's dive into our exploration of the different forms of information and their roles in the fascinating world of RL flow. Let's begin our exploration of the different forms of information by looking at the first one, physical matter. Physical matter is the most tangible and familiar form of information. It's what makes up everything we can see, touch, and interact with in the physical world. Matter is made up of atoms, which are the building blocks of all elements found on the periodic table. Atoms consist of a nucleus containing protons and neutrons surrounded by electrons in various energy levels. There are countless examples of physical matter around us, from the chair you're sitting on, the device you're watching this video on, to the food you eat and the air you breathe. It's important to note that even though physical matter may seem separate and distinct, at the atomic level, it's still interconnected and influenced by the RL flow. As we explore the other forms of information, you'll see how physical matter is just one part of a much larger, interconnected web of information that exists within the RL flow. Now that we know what physical matter is, let's explore its role within the RL flow. Physical matter serves as one of the primary conduits for the flow of information within the universe. It helps to form the physical structure of our world and plays a crucial role in shaping the way RL flow interacts with other forms of information. Atoms and molecules, the smallest units of physical matter, are not isolated entities. They constantly interact with each other and their environment, exchanging information and energy through forces such as gravity, electromagnetism, and nuclear forces. These interactions among physical matter and other forms of information, such as energy, thoughts, emotions, and consciousness, give rise to the complex and dynamic patterns we observe in the universe. As a key component of the RL flow, physical matter helps create the intricate web of connections that underlie our reality. The interactions between physical matter and other forms of information ultimately give rise to the experiences and phenomena we encounter in our daily lives. In our next section, we'll explore another form of information that's less tangible but equally essential to the workings of the RL flow: energy. Now that we've covered physical matter, let's dive into our next form of information: energy. Energy is the capacity to do work or the ability to cause change in a system. It can be neither created nor destroyed, but can change from one form to another, as dictated by the law of conservation of energy. There are many different types of energy, such as kinetic energy, potential energy, thermal energy, and electromagnetic energy, just to name a few. For example, when you lift a book off the ground, you're transferring potential energy into it. And when you let it go, that potential energy is converted into kinetic energy as the book falls. Energy plays a vital role in the RL flow, as it allows for the transfer and transformation of information throughout the universe. Without energy, there would be no movement or change, and the universe would be static and unchanging. In our next section, we'll explore how energy interacts within the RL flow and its connection to other forms of information. Now that we know what energy is and its different forms, let's discuss its role within the RL flow. Energy is an integral part of the RL flow as it drives the movement, transformation, and interaction of information throughout the universe. Energy allows physical matter to interact with other forms of information, such as thoughts, emotions, and consciousness, by enabling the transfer and conversion of information between these different forms. For example, when you think of a loved one, neural activity in your brain generates electrical energy, which then influences the flow of thoughts, emotions, and consciousness in the RL flow. This process highlights how energy plays a key role in shaping our subjective experiences. Energy also plays a crucial role in facilitating the interconnectedness of the universe. The exchange of energy between different forms of information creates a dynamic web of connections, constantly shifting and evolving based on the interactions within the RL flow. In our next section, we'll dive into another form of information that is less tangible but deeply intertwined with energy in the RL flow: thoughts. We've explored physical matter and energy, and now we'll move on to the next form of information within the RL flow: thoughts. Thoughts are mental constructs that represent ideas, concepts, or mental images. They are the product of our cognitive processes and can be both conscious and subconscious. Thoughts can take many different forms, such as memories, plans, questions, or even daydreams. Our thoughts can be influenced by our emotions, experiences, and beliefs, and they play a crucial role in shaping our perceptions of reality and our actions in the world. For example, when you think about an upcoming deadline, your thoughts might trigger feelings of stress or anxiety, which then influence your behavior, such as working harder or procrastinating. In the context of the RL flow, thoughts are an essential form of information that interacts with other forms, such as emotions, consciousness, and physical matter, shaping the flow of information and influencing the interconnectedness of the universe. In the next section, we'll discuss how thoughts fit within the RL flow and their impact on the interconnected web of information in the universe. We've seen what thoughts are and how they can manifest in our minds. Now let's explore their role within the RL flow. Thoughts play a significant role in the RL flow as they help shape our subjective experiences and can have a profound impact on the world around us. In the context of the RL flow, thoughts serve as a bridge between our inner consciousness and the external world, allowing us to interact with and influence the flow of information. Our thoughts can influence the flow of other forms of information, such as emotions and physical matter. For instance, positive thoughts can generate positive emotions, which can then affect our physical well-being and the energy we emit into the universe. Conversely, negative thoughts can lead to negative emotions, which can impact our physical health and the energy we project. In this way, thoughts are a driving force within the RL flow, shaping the way we perceive and interact with reality and affecting the interconnectedness of everything in the universe. Next, we'll delve into another form of information that is closely tied to thoughts: emotions. Now that we've explored thoughts, let's discuss another key form of information in the RL flow: emotions. Emotions are complex, often intense feelings that can be triggered by various stimuli and events, such as our thoughts, experiences, and interactions with others. Examples of emotions include happiness, sadness, anger, fear, and love, among many others. Emotions can be experienced on a wide spectrum, from mild to intense, and can have both positive and negative effects on our well-being and the way we interact with the world. It's important to note that emotions are not just abstract feelings. They have a physiological component as well. They can trigger physical responses in our bodies, such as changes in heart rate, blood pressure, and hormone levels. Now that we have a better understanding of what emotions are, let's take a closer look at their role within the RL flow. As we dive into the role of emotions in the RL flow, let's first acknowledge that emotions are a crucial aspect of our experience as human beings. Emotions are deeply interconnected with the other forms of information in the RL flow, such as thoughts, energy, and physical matter. In the RL flow, emotions can act as catalysts, amplifying or dampening the flow of information and energy, thereby influencing the overall dynamics of the system. Positive emotions like love and joy can enhance the RL flow, leading to increased harmony, balance, and well-being, both individually and collectively. On the other hand, negative emotions, such as anger and fear, can disrupt the RL flow, creating disharmony and imbalance, which may manifest as conflicts, stress, and other challenges. Moreover, emotions can become entangled in the RL flow, connecting individuals and even entire societies as their emotional states resonate with one another. This emotional entanglement can lead to a collective emotional state, which in turn can affect the overall RL flow on a larger scale. Understanding the role of emotions in the RL flow can help us navigate our emotional experiences more effectively, allowing us to harness their power for personal growth, improved relationships, and a more harmonious existence. In the next part of our series, we will delve into the role of consciousness in the RL flow. Consciousness can be defined as the state of being aware of and able to think and perceive, encompassing various mental processes such as cognition, emotions, and self-awareness. While human consciousness is the most familiar example, other forms of consciousness may exist in animals, plants, and even artificial intelligence systems. For instance, animals like dolphins and elephants demonstrate high levels of intelligence, social behavior, and even self-awareness, suggesting the presence of consciousness. On the other hand, plants display an incredible ability to sense and respond to their environment, and some researchers argue that they possess a form of consciousness. Finally, as artificial intelligence systems become increasingly sophisticated, questions arise about whether they may one day attain a form of consciousness. In the context of the RL flow, consciousness is a critical component, as it connects with and influences the other forms of information, shaping our reality and experiences. Now that we've defined consciousness and explored some examples, let's delve into its role in the RL flow. Consciousness plays a vital role in the RL flow, as it not only connects with the other forms of information, but also actively shapes and influences them. Our thoughts, emotions, and intentions are all aspects of our consciousness, and they impact how the RL flow manifests in our lives. For instance, when we focus on positive thoughts and emotions, we can align ourselves with the harmonious aspects of the RL flow, leading to a more balanced and fulfilling life. Conversely, negative thoughts and emotions can create disruptions in the RL flow, leading to disharmony and obstacles in our lives. Additionally, collective consciousness, the shared beliefs, ideas, and values of a group or society, can also influence the RL flow on a larger scale. By understanding the role of consciousness in the RL flow, we can become more aware of how our thoughts and emotions impact not only our own lives, but also the world around us. This awareness allows us to make more conscious choices and harness the power of the RL flow to create positive change. Now that we've covered the different forms of information, let's explore how they interact within the RL flow. As we mentioned earlier, the RL flow is a dynamic, interconnected system. This means that the different forms of information, physical matter, energy, Thoughts, emotions, and consciousness are all interdependent and influence one another. For example, our thoughts and emotions can influence our physical well-being. Positive thoughts and emotions can lead to better health and increased energy, while negative thoughts and emotions can cause stress and illness. Similarly, the energy in our environment can impact our thoughts, emotions, and consciousness. A peaceful and uplifting environment can promote positive thoughts and emotions, while a chaotic and stressful environment can lead to negative thoughts and emotions. Furthermore, our consciousness can shape our experience of reality by influencing the physical world around us. Through our intentions and focus, we can manifest changes in our lives and even influence the larger RL flow. By understanding the interdependence of these forms of information within the RL flow, we can begin to appreciate the complex and dynamic nature of our reality and learn how to harness the power of the RL flow to create a more harmonious and balanced life. Now let's look at some examples of the interdependence of information forms in nature and human experience. First, consider the way plants convert sunlight into energy through photosynthesis. In this process, the physical matter of the plant and the energy from sunlight interact, enabling the plant to grow and thrive. Another example can be found in human relationships. When two people interact, their thoughts, emotions, and consciousness become interconnected, affecting each other's experience and shaping their relationship. This interdependence is also evident in the Earth's ecosystems. The health of an ecosystem depends on the balance between its various components, such as the plants, animals, and the flow of energy and nutrients. When one component is disrupted, the entire system can be affected. In the realm of human experience, we can see interdependence in the way our emotions can influence our decision-making and actions. For example, fear can lead us to make hasty decisions, while compassion can inspire us to help others. These examples illustrate how the different forms of information within the RL flow are interconnected and constantly influencing one another. By recognizing and understanding these interactions, we can learn to navigate our reality more effectively and create positive change in our lives and the world around us. As we've seen, the different forms of information within the RL flow are interconnected and constantly influencing one another. However, it's essential to recognize that these interactions don't follow a simple, linear path. Instead, the flow of information in the universe is complex and dynamic, much like a river. To illustrate this, let's think about how a river flows. Its path is not a straight line, but rather a series of twists and turns, meandering and branching off into smaller streams before eventually converging again. Similarly, the RL flow involves countless interactions between various forms of information, creating intricate and ever-changing patterns. This non-linear nature of the flow means that even small changes can have far-reaching effects, making it difficult to predict the outcomes of specific actions or events. An example of this non-linearity can be found in the famous butterfly effect. The idea is that the flap of a butterfly's wings in Brazil could set off a chain of events that ultimately leads to a tornado in Texas. While this example may be an exaggeration, it demonstrates the intricate connections and non-linear nature of the RL flow. By understanding and respecting this complexity, we can better appreciate the delicate balance and interconnectedness of our universe. The complexity and dynamic nature of the RL flow can be observed in various systems around us. Let's take a closer look at some examples. First, let's consider ecosystems. These natural systems consist of numerous species interacting with one another and their environment. The relationships between these components are intricate, with every species playing a role in maintaining the balance of the ecosystem. For example, the removal of a single species could lead to cascading effects throughout the ecosystem, impacting other species and even altering the environment itself. This complex web of interactions is a prime example of the RL flow in action. Now let's turn our attention to social networks. Humans are inherently social beings, and our connections with one another form intricate patterns that shape our experiences and behaviors. These networks can be seen as a reflection of the RL flow on a social level, with thoughts, emotions, and consciousness influencing and being influenced by the actions and experiences of others. The spread of information, ideas, and emotions through social networks can have powerful impacts on both individuals and communities. By examining these complex patterns in various systems, we can better understand how the different forms of information interact within the RL flow. This understanding can help us appreciate the beauty and intricacy of the universe, as well as our place within it. As we explore the interactions within the RL flow, it's essential to discuss the concept of emotional entanglement. This fascinating process demonstrates how emotions can become intertwined within the RL flow, influencing both our thoughts and actions. Emotional entanglement occurs when the emotions of one individual influence the emotions of another. This can happen through various channels, such as body language, facial expressions, tone of voice, or even the content of our words. As our emotions become entangled with those of others, the RL flow between us is affected. Our thoughts, decisions, and actions may be significantly influenced by the emotions we pick up from those around us, creating a ripple effect that spreads throughout our social networks. Emotional entanglement is not limited to face-to-face interactions. It can also occur through digital communication, such as social media or instant messaging, where the written word and various symbols can convey emotions. By understanding the process of emotional entanglement in the RL flow, we can become more aware of the impact our emotions have on others and vice versa. This awareness can help us navigate our relationships more effectively and foster a greater sense of empathy and connection with those around us. Now that we've covered the process of emotional entanglement, let's explore some real-life examples to better understand its effects on our lives. Our first example is a phenomenon called emotional contagion, which is the spread of emotions from one person to another, much like a virus. Consider a scenario where one person in a group is feeling particularly happy and positive. Their enthusiasm can easily rub off on others, creating a more uplifting atmosphere. Conversely, if someone is feeling negative or upset, those emotions can also spread, potentially leading to a more tense or uncomfortable environment. Another example can be found in relationships, where the emotional state of one partner can have a significant impact on the other. For instance, when one partner is experiencing stress or anxiety, it can be challenging for the other partner to maintain a positive outlook. Finally, let's consider the workplace. A leader's emotions can greatly influence the emotions and overall morale of their team. An empathetic and supportive leader can create a positive and productive work environment, while a negative or unsupportive leader may lead to a toxic atmosphere. These examples demonstrate the far-reaching effects of emotional entanglement in our everyday lives. By recognizing and understanding this phenomenon, we can develop greater emotional intelligence and cultivate more positive and meaningful connections with those around us. As we've explored the different forms of information and their roles in the RL flow, it's essential to understand the potential impact this knowledge can have on our understanding of the universe. Grasping the various forms of information and their interactions can lead to a more profound comprehension of the intricate workings of reality, from the smallest particles to the vast expanse of the cosmos. By examining these complex relationships, we can begin to unravel some of the most perplexing questions about the nature of existence, the origins of life, and the emergence of consciousness. Furthermore, this knowledge allows us to appreciate the interconnectedness of all things, leading to a greater sense of unity, empathy, and responsibility towards our planet and each other. As we continue to explore and understand these information forms and their interactions in the RL flow, we're not only expanding our scientific knowledge, but also fostering a deeper sense of connection to the world around us. In the next episode, we'll dive deeper into the practical applications of this knowledge and discuss how it can help us better navigate our lives and make more informed decisions. Stay tuned. As we continue our exploration of the different forms of information and the RL flow, it's fascinating to see how this understanding has far-reaching implications for various fields of study. In physics, Understanding the different forms of information can help us expand our comprehension of the fundamental forces and particles that make up the universe, potentially paving the way for new breakthroughs in areas like quantum mechanics and astrophysics. In the field of psychology, the concept of emotional entanglement and the role of thoughts and emotions in the RL flow provide insight into human behavior and mental processes, ultimately enhancing our understanding of the human mind and mental health. Philosophy is another area where the understanding of information forms in the RL flow can have a profound impact. It can help us examine the nature of consciousness and address age-old questions like the mind-body problem or the hard problem of consciousness. Moreover, this knowledge extends to other disciplines like biology, sociology, and even the arts, revealing the interconnectedness of various fields and the potential for a more holistic understanding of our world. As we continue our journey through the RL flow, we'll explore these implications further and discover how understanding the different forms of information can revolutionize the way we approach various aspects of our lives. Stay tuned for the next episode, where we'll delve into practical applications and see how this knowledge can empower us to make more informed decisions and lead more fulfilling lives. Don't miss it. Lastly, let's explore how understanding the different forms of information in the RL flow can have personal applications and benefits in our daily lives. By recognizing the interconnectedness of thoughts, emotions, and consciousness, we can become more mindful of our inner experiences, promoting self-awareness and personal growth. This understanding can also lead to improved mental and emotional well-being, as we learn to navigate complex patterns and emotional entanglements in our relationships and interactions with others. Additionally, gaining a deeper grasp of the RL flow and the forms of information can help us make more informed decisions, as we become aware of the underlying patterns and dynamics in various aspects of our lives, such as our careers, personal relationships, and overall health. As we cultivate this awareness, we can also develop a greater sense of empathy and compassion for others, recognizing the interconnected nature of our experiences and the world around us. So, as you can see, understanding the different forms of information in the RL flow has the potential to not only revolutionize various fields of study, but also to profoundly impact our personal lives, empowering us to lead more fulfilling, compassionate, and enlightened lives. In the next episode, we'll explore practical applications and real-life examples of how this knowledge can help us navigate the complexities of our lives. Make sure to subscribe and don't miss out on this exciting journey of discovery. Before we wrap up today's episode, let's take a sneak peek at what's in store for Episode 3, RL Flow and Modern Physics. In the next episode, we'll delve into the fascinating connections between the RL flow and modern physics, exploring how our understanding of the different forms of information and their interactions can shed new light on the fundamental nature of the universe. We'll discuss groundbreaking theories, such as quantum mechanics and relativity, and see how they intersect with the ideas we've been discussing throughout this series. You won't want to miss this thought-provoking exploration into the cutting edge of scientific knowledge. So, if you've enjoyed this episode and want to continue deepening your understanding of the RL flow and its implications for our world, make sure to tune in for Episode 3. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope you're as excited as we are to keep exploring these fascinating ideas. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on the latest episodes. And that brings us to the end of Episode 2 of our series on understanding reality through the lens of the RL flow. We truly appreciate you taking the time to watch and engage with our content. We hope you found this episode insightful and thought-provoking. If you enjoyed it, please give us a thumbs up and let us know your thoughts or questions in the comments section below. Your feedback helps us create better content and ensures we're addressing the topics that matter most to you. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to stay up to date on all our latest episodes. Once again, thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery, and we're looking forward to exploring even more fascinating ideas with you in the upcoming episodes. Until then, take care and keep exploring the mysteries of our reality.